some audio. We should be live. J-Dog in the chat. How you doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear Cole? If Cole says something, hello, Cole.
Yeah, hi, good evening. How is everyone? I can't I can't see if there's a response.
Yeah, no,
Can you hear us okay?
he can indeed. He can. Yeah.
Excellent.
So tonight we are here to do the season 3 round 5 preview show. Expert commentary and punditry provided by Cole. Tony was meant to be with us, but he's unfortunately going to be absent, so it's just going to be the two of us tonight. We'll do what we did for the round 3 preview show, going through all the upcoming fixtures. I think there's only one which has taken place so
Yeah.
far. So Division 3, they they're slacking a bit because I think last time we did this show, Division 3 had practically finished all their games. So chop chop
Yeah.
everyone.
Slowing down, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, just the one so far. So,
Yeah.
yeah, lots to talk about, lots to get
Mm.
through. Are we still going to start with Division 1 or are we going to start with Division
Yeah,
3?
we'll start with Division 1. So I've got the league
Lovely.
table on at the moment, just to give a quick nosy at where everyone is. Ronaldinho, 4 wins. Doing quite well at the moment.
Yeah, it's been very good. It's and classic, just winning by a single touchdown each time, so very good.
Yeah, yeah. Swiftly, yeah. There's a big group of you all on 7 points, then, isn't there? There's Cole, Rob, Ryan, and the other Cole.
Yeah.
Tight group.
So we've all sort of taken points off each other, really, which
Mm,
that's a sign of a good league. I think it's nice and close, and so yeah, I think what's the separation there? Just on touchdowns, casualties, yeah. So yeah, really good. I've got the Bloody Fists up next, which are bottom of the league, but that's going to be no easy match either. I don't think it's a cliche, but there's no easy
no easy
games. So
games. Yep, yep. There isn't, is there? That's really good. So who have we got next then? Going down, we've got Tony, Jay, Matt, and then Pete with the Chaos Dwarves and Tom at the bottom. But is this going to be the round where uh, Tom's luck changes and maybe at your expense, Cole?
yeah,
We'll
I
find
think
out tomorrow.
it genuinely could be. I think we've got some very tough matchups to call in this one. So um, we've got the up first. We've got the Rob's Undead up against the Chaos Dwarfs in seventh, and I mean, that could go either way. So it's third against seventh, which you think, given the form, that might be the Undead for an. It might just edge that. But I think with two teams with very close style in the way that they play, that's going to be quite close to call. I reckon that might end up as a kind of honourable 1-1 draw or something.
Mm, yeah. Oh, here's Tony in the chat.
Ah,
Hello, Tony. You can provide your input via the Twitch chat.
yeah.
Lovely. Right, let's crack on then. So, fixtures. Top of the list, we've got Rob and his Shambling Undead against Jay and his Chaos Dwarves. So, what do we think about this
Yeah.
one?
Well, that's the one I suppose I just spoiled a
Mm.
second ago, which was because I'm such a professional. And but I do think this one is genuinely very. It's too close to call. I couldn't call this either way. I would cut it down as a potential sort of 1-1
Yeah.
kind of draw. I think that, as usual, the undead ghouls are going to be really hard to stop. There's at least a couple there with Blodge, so that they'll be very hard to take down. Because of course Chaos Dwarves lost tackle.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that'll be how that one potentially plays out on offense for the undead. But I also think the Chaos Dwarves are very strong. Hard to take down. They've got three guards in this team, and the Bull Centaurs are always an absolute menace. Um, so yeah, I think 12 players each, same TV. Yeah, this one's for me. This has got draw written all over it. But how do you see it?
Um, Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be slightly favouring uh, Rob's Undead. Just looking at the state of the roster, like Rob's roster, he's only missing a lineman, so he's in good nick. Um, I mean, Jay's is looking, it's starting to look as filthy as his previous roster, but it's not there yet. Um, so yeah, I mean, I agree really. Yeah, close one, close one. Both very similar TVs as well. Well, the same, exact same
This is
TVs.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, same TV.
yeah.
So yeah, I think this. I mean, going to be a very close match. It could, yeah, Knuckle will decide, I guess, in terms of the dice. But otherwise, all things being equal, I do think this has got. The teams aren't fast enough for a high scoring game, and actually their previous games kind of indicate that. So I've got it down as a potential draw, but I think it could be a 2-1 either way, perhaps.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow night. So
Okay,
tomorrow,
yeah,
just
that's
to point
right.
out, is the day where Jay is playing Matthew in his round 4 game at 3 o'clock, and then sprinting up to Bargammons to play Rob after that. So we'll see how that goes.
That's
Next
how
up,
it goes.
next up is Cole versus Tom.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I mean, so my team. So, yeah, I've had a decent start to the season. It has to be said. I've been quite lucky, um, mostly with vampires behaving themselves and not rolling too many ones, which Tony can vouch for, because they were particularly well behaved against him. So I have been quite lucky. I think you need that with any kind of big nega trait kind of team. Um, so yeah, I'm going into this one with 15 players, which is courtesy of a couple of kills. So they got turned into
Ah,
extra players for me. So I wouldn't normally have 15 players on almost any team except gnomes, perhaps. Um, so yeah, but I thought against the Corn team, which is not a big team, but absolutely chock full of skills, means its TV is quite high. So it's going to be my
oh my word.
15 players against Tom's 11 players. So casualty rate could become a thing, though. To be fair, other than the Vargeist, I don't really have any combat skills, so I won't pose too much threat. I don't think. Um, I just think it's going to be the usual thing. Can I avoid rolling ones? Can Hypno Gaze turn off his skills, or will he get the first punch in and just wreck the vampire's face? I don't know. Could go either way. I've been, like I say, I've been lucky so far. If that continues, then I could win. Otherwise, could very easily be Tom's first win of the season.
Yeah, 3 mighty blows in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot he was it's a redrafted team, isn't it? So yeah,
it is, and
pretty
it's
decked out.
yeah, oh, con-
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, we can.
yeah. So,
Good evening.
how are you? Yeah, welcome.
Good evening. Yes, good, good, good. Does Cole have any inducements on this one?
Tom's got 40K to spend,
Yeah.
so it's not looking like too much. Probably just a couple of assistant coaches normally 40K.
Mm-hmm.
So not got a lot to spend there. I don't think he's got any SPP to spend. I know I've spent all mine. I think he's got a couple of players where he's saving up. Yeah, it's a fairly even spread on SPP, so I don't think he's got anything to spend there. He does, however, have 210K
Mm,
in the treasury, so I don't know if he's going to prop up his team with something extra before tomorrow, but if he does, I'll have some inducements because I certainly don't need more players.
well, we'll find out
I
tomorrow.
think
Go on.
it's all very well having lots of skills, but if Hypnogaze works, then they all get turned off anyway.
Yeah, well, I couldn't possibly comment. Yeah, no, I think that would be the case. So I can turn them off where he needs them, but then unless I knock him down, he'll just activate them back up again. So it could be interesting. It's not a team I want to go toe to toe with because those armor 8 thralls will not last long.
Lovely stuff. Okay, next up. Oh, it's the father and son matchup, isn't it? It's Tony
It
against
is.
Matt. Ooh,
So
okay.
was this a draw in season 2? If I remember rightly.
Yeah, but I was playing Slan.
Yeah, I know they were different teams. But okay,
And
so
he
no
was
one need.
playing Norse.
Yeah.
It was.
And- well, I know Matt likes to smash teams up a bit, so I expect you facing more of the same. He's got a very good Goblin team, but if anyone knows Goblins, Tony, that's you, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's largely going to depend on what happens on Wednesday. So tomorrow, when the Goblins play against the Chaos Dwarfs, if the Goblins get massively beaten up, then yeah, it's not as much of a problem for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's going to be quite important. I don't know what I'm facing yet, and it also will. That's going to have quite a large effect on whether or not I change the team beforehand. So I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So you've got 11 players currently, and I know Matt likes to run his relatively
Yeah, but I got
light.
no
He's
thrower.
got
I got no
12.
thrower. So, and that's sort of
Mm,
a. The thing is when you're playing against goblins and you want to score a quick touchdown, the throw is like rather important
yeah,
because
definitely.
you're thinking, especially with high elves, it's like, okay, I've got to just get a catcher within sort of 7 or 8 squares of the end zone, and then I can do a 2+ pass or a 3+ pass with a reroll, score a touchdown, and then that's half his secret weapon sent off at least.
Yeah, exactly. I always try and score as quick as possible against goblins. I mean, he's got a little bit to spend as well. I think on you again, depending on how the game goes.
I don't think
Do
he's
you
got a
think?
great deal, Cole. I think
Oh,
it's only about 100k. It's not, but
one.
again, it
Okay,
depends on Wednesday, right? Depends tomorrow
it
on what
does.
happens tomorrow.
Yeah, it does. It says 135 at the moment, but of course it does. It totally depends what you do and what he does. So, but I guess that's probably. Would he take a bribe? I don't know his style enough.
Oh, he'll
Either a
definitely take
bribe
a
or
bribe if he can.
yeah.
Um, the thing is against elves, dribble snot isn't as good.
No, no. You could do bomber and fungus because that's a classic for 130. But
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right.
But the thing
Bomber's not
is
all that.
that there's no bribes, and that means your loony sent off after one drive.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
it's just not
I,
ideal really for a goblin team. Really, it might be better off just getting more bribes
yes.
and then
I think that's
fouling.
the way to go. Yeah.
He's got 2 block trolls, and I mean they can do the damage themselves.
Yes. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Two block guard trolls,
Rest of
and then got
He's got 2 block guard trolls. He's got 2 hooligans effectively because of that filthy random thing that he's managed to produce,
yeah. I can see.
Sneaky gets
which
Yeah.
makes me
defensive,
think
dirty
maybe he's
player.
hacked the tour play code somehow. But
Yeah.
if he'd done that, he'd probably have been better at his GCSE. So he's probably not done that. It's just dumb luck. But
Yeah. Two sneaky
yeah,
git players is filthy. Yeah.
yeah. But that's the thing is that second one. It's like random dirty player, random sneaky hit.
Yeah.
So it's so cheap.
It is. He's
Yeah.
cheap. He's cheaper than the hooligan himself. That's mad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right,
and
need to
it's got
move
Well,
on to the
defensive
next
as well,
one.
which is arguably better.
To move on to the
yeah.
next game. Those will be here all
Okay.
night. So next up we've got McPorridge's Humans versus Ryan's Orcs. The classic Humans versus Orcs.
Yeah. I thought so as well when I wrote down
Yeah.
classic. It's got it is it's the game we all started with, I suppose, in
Yeah.
some ways. And I had these two down as my two favourites going in. So two resurrected teams, two very strong teams
Mm,
and strong players. So I had these as kind of pre-season favourites. And I think apart from maybe
Very
one
well
result,
developed.
yeah, apart from one result each where it's gone astray, I think it's probably gone as planned. I think they've just been a little bit unlucky. They both had deaths. Um, so Ryan's lost at least two, I think, players, and I think Colin lost one against me. So yeah, it's I think if it hadn't been for that, they'd have been less hampered on a couple of games. But otherwise, yeah, the same. 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw.
One blitzer down on the Orcs for the game.
Yeah.
Calls down his catcher, or one
Yeah,
of his
he's
catchers.
lost
What's the TV difference?
40k. So again, nothing in it really.
then.
No. So again,
Nothing
I
in
mean,
it at all. It's just going to be an absolute slobber knocker, that one.
yeah, that's going to be really interesting how that one plays out.
They're both really, really good coaches as well. So it's going to be,
Yes.
yeah. I wouldn't like to try and call that one. Although, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're both
Yeah.
very, very good. So, yeah, I think that's got draw written all over it.
I agree. I think the humans are too skilled and too fast to not score, but the Orcs are too good at their cage, and Ryan plays that particularly well. So I think they'll score. And again, perhaps a 1-1, but yeah, we'll see. Look forward to that one.
Okay, and the
If
final.
that was in the football pool, I'd be putting that number in as a score draw.
Yeah, the final match from Division 1 in this round is Ronaldinho against Pete and his Chaos Dwarves. So, top of the league versus second to bottom.
Yeah, first versus ninth. So, and this is an interesting one because of the matchup. There's a lot of skills now on Tony's North side. Resurrected team, which he's taken from scratch, which I know is what he wanted to do. He's got 13 players to Pete's 10. So yeah, it's going to be. So once he's bought his journeyman, I think he'll have around 260, 270 to spend.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I can see a fairly hefty star player coming in, and it's going to be interesting. I don't know. Pete's style is probably to try and score more. So does he take, the likes of Hackflem or something similar in order to provide a scoring threat because he's down his main scorer, the Hobgoblin with block. So does he take something like that, or does he go for something more harmful because Lord Borak against Norse, where you're almost guaranteed to get through the armor and then have a +2 on a foul, is pretty devastating. So, don't know which way that's going to go.
I wouldn't be fouling Borak unless you can get a bribe.
No,
it's just too much TV to risk a double on the injury roll, right? So
I guess it is.
If you're going to take Lord Borak, it's more of like having a counter big guy to kill the Yeti, right?
Yes.
I don't think Pete will take Hackflam because Pete's all about the development of this team, and if you're taking Hackflam, he's the one who's scoring touchdowns, and that means you're not getting SPP.
And I would agree with that. I just wondered, because of how the tough start that he's had, would he want to try and bank a win, and take the it's a one hit.
This might be I'm worried about getting relegated.
Yeah, it's possible.
This might be I'm worried about getting relegated. I need to get a win. Let's take Hackflam because he's amazing.
Yeah. So interesting choice, I think.
That is a good argument for taking him. But I think, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. That'd be when is that? That's is that looks like it's penciled in for Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday evening.
I bet it'll be an absolutely brilliant game.
Yeah, that would be a good one to watch as well.
Yep. So that's all the Division 1 games. Moving on to Division 2. Top of the list here is my game versus Keith. Woodies versus the Renegades. What do you think about this one then?
You've got a lot of your players back from injury. You've got a lot of your players back from injury now,
I'm
right?
so happy. Yes.
You were like down to 6 or something for the last one, and now you're almost full strength.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I've ever played Chaos Renegades, so it's going to be a new experience.
I mean, Renegades, in my experience, are very sort of hit and miss. Mostly miss.
If the big guys work, happy days.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think the thing is that when you've got that much negatrait on the pitch, things go wrong. Has he got the three big guys? I can't.
Got the troll, the ogre, and the minotaur. The troll and the ogre have been given guard. So yeah.
Yeah,
I like
mean,
trolls and ogres. But the thing is that when I played the first season with the Renegades, I had me troll and me ogre to start with, and then I bought a minotaur. He played one game, and then I sacked him because they're bloody rubbish. And rat ogres are even worse because they kill your own players. I mean, they're all just. I know people like the rat ogre because you can go, oh, it's all right because it's guaranteed he's going to do something as long as he's got the orc standing next to him. But you're still going to try and kill your own player 1 in 6 times.
Yeah.
And
I'm not a fan of the rat ogre for that reason. I know that goes against the, what most people think, but yeah, it's a good team. It's got it's got some guards and block. The two heads goblin is a good is a nice threat. Can score from
that's brilliant. I love a two-head goblin. Two-head goblin's great.
Yeah.
It's the best.
So,
That and big hand that's all you want on a goblin.
yeah.
Then he's going up wherever he wants and picking up the ball whenever he wants. It's just superb. But yeah.
So lots of his touchdowns have been spread out.
Three big guys. Three big guys is a bit too unreliable. I think take the two, and then manage the rest of the team.
Yeah, I agree. Keeps the TV a little bit lower, but I think if you're gonna, if you're playing for fun, I think 3 is more fun and can be a threat, and it is more swingy. But when it works, it can be pretty devastating. And he's got a bit of TV on you, Dan. So he's got about 130, 135. So he can afford something fun like a chainsaw, which would be pretty horrible.
Ooh, a chainsaw.
Can
he afford Max?
How much is Max? 130. So yeah, because helmet's 140. Max
he's strength 4, so he's really hard for an elf team to remove.
Yeah, and if he does it on his own drive, he could be chainsawing for 8 turns before he goes. So yeah, I mean the chainsaw is quite an easy wood elf removal, but it also is a threat to the tree. So
well, ish. You've still got to roll an 8.
Yeah, true. And then if you're standing next to the tree, if you don't get him,
and the tree gets a +4 when he hits him back. So that could be good night, Irene, right?
Yeah, that's a turn 8 blitz. That one. When you're going off anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're doing that, then what if you roll a 1 and can't score?
Yeah.
Because you've got to roll that kickback roll.
Yeah.
There's a 1 in 6, and if you've blitzed every other turn, chances are it's happening now, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing about chainsaws. As a goblin coach, the loony eats my rerolls more than any other player. Because that 1 when you're doing the kickback roll.
Yeah.
That's why I think, although Max is great, the other one, what's his name? The one that's got Pro.
Helmet Wolf, yeah. He's really good. Yeah, Pro's excellent.
Right, let's bash on to the next one. We've got Barry and his Skaven versus George and his very filthy Wood Elves. Connie Ferris taking names across the land. Jesus.
Yeah. He's got the best war dancer ever.
8 casualties, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's a thing of beauty.
This is like the star of the league, right? This player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably is. Literally.
I called it. I called it as soon as I saw him roll that double. I said, "You got a Mighty Blow War Dancer, you got to keep that." Insane.
I will say Barry is due.
Random.
Barry is due a good. His dice are due to come in for him at some point. So Maybe that's this game
Well,
for him.
Well, I
maybe
can
it
see
will
this
be.
one
And
being
Barry's
high
a good
scoring.
coach. Yeah, I think a Wood Elf team on form with a filthy war dancer like that, very hard to beat.
Yeah, it's not going to be 0-0. I know that.
Yes, it will not be in there 0-0.
Barry's a very good coach, but yeah, that war dancer is a menace.
Yeah. I also spotted both teams have strip ball, and they're both on ones that can cage dive. So it'll be interesting to see how they play that out.
Well, the
So Gus
human
won't-
team's got sure hands, right? So
Human team? Who's
The-
human
Do you
team?
mean
oh,
one of
sorry,
the throws?
sorry, the Skaven team. Skaven team.
No sure hands on
no.
Skaven.
He's got no thrower.
No thrower. So 4 gutters, 2 blitzers, Roga, and lines.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There was a
Honestly,
decision
these-
before his game against me of going for a gutter or a thrower, and he embraced the
went for the gutter.
Yeah, over the thrower.
Okay.
So
This
yeah,
could be 3-4.
yeah.
This game could be 4-3.
Yeah.
Again, it'd be another good
Either
one to
way,
watch.
massive scoring.
Barry's got a
Yeah.
little bit. I've just noticed Barry's got a bit to spend. 140.
140, yeah.
That's. I mean, it doesn't get you another gutter. It doesn't get you skitter. But it'll get you something. What does it get you for Skaven? I don't really know Skaven that well. Can he get you a bomber? Can he get you a bomber? Can he fight?
He could do something. He could do something clever with his maybe hiring and firing and get maybe Creek or something.
No,
But I don't
yeah.
think Creek is very effective. Creek wouldn't be very effective against Wood Elves.
No, they're too spread out.
I think. Yeah, he wants something that's gonna. Yeah, I don't know. This is a tricky
Okay.
one.
Could be another.
What he
chainsaw.
really needs is a like a dirty player or something like that, and a wrestle guy so you can drag him
Yeah.
down and then kick him.
Yeah.
He does have a wrestle. His strip baller is a wrestle.
Yeah.
How much is Glart? He's
So
quite
yeah,
good, isn't he?
wrestle that special war dancer down and then kick him in the balls.
Right. Okay.
That's
We'll wait to see what
fantastic.
happens with that one. So next one we've got the other Skaven coach in Division 2, the One Night Angel, Mr. Dan, going up against Sawyer Bean's Orcs. So Sawyer Bean top of the league at the moment, I think. Oh no, sorry, George is top of the league,
second
isn't
one.
he? Yeah. Chris is second at the moment.
It
Yeah.
gets wool.
What was that?
What was that?
I said
think that
it
was-
gets Helmut Wolf.
Can't
What
hear.
was that?
I think that was Jem. He's gone. Anyway, okay. So yes, yeah, Skaven versus Orcs. Ooh.
I really
Yeah.
like the Skaven team, especially because they're all, there's this brilliant sort of story behind them being the WWE or the World. What is it? The Rat Wrestling
the Rat
Federation.
Wrestling Federation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
really cool.
Yeah. Have you had a look at this
Oh my God, you're-
Orc team though in detail? it's horrible.
Yeah, they're good too. I think
very
that this
good.
Orc team is incredibly well built. Yeah, they're good.
It's extremely.
And I've
efficient.
also
It's
seen the
only-
minis, and they are beautiful. He's got a Savage Orc team, and it's just like, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. Well, it's a hideous team. It's got a relatively low TV. It's kept to 11 players. I mean, yeah, it's good, very good. It's hard to find any weak point really.
It's just trim, right? So if
Yeah.
the only thing is if they start losing players, there's a problem. But if they, I mean, the thing is, if the Orc armor holds up, there's no problem at all when you just got a really trim, really well built team.
Well, you don't tend to lose many orcs. You know, might be unlucky and lose one or even two, but yeah, this is a very tough team.
Yeah.
But the Renegades made it past them. I see. That was their only loss so far. But quite tight games: 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 loss, and then 2-1 win. So very steady.
Mm.
Can see why the second is going to be. Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup. I think. Again, a little bit to spend on the Skaven side, 150. So perhaps a scorer or a couple of more dangerous stars. I wonder if Fungus would have fun against an Orc Cage though, because with 11 play, it might go quite. They don't really care about how much guard you have.
Oh, Fungus would be great.
Yeah, bit of mighty blow as well, isn't it, Fungus?
Yeah, Fungus has mighty blow. And
Yeah.
the whirling dervish special rule is really handy because it
Yeah,
means
really.
you can once per turn re-roll the direction,
Yeah.
which is just
So yeah.
great.
Naughty.
To be honest, it's absolutely superb.
Well, I mean, I don't know how this Orc team plays, but it certainly looks as though it cages up with all the guard.
Mm.
I think,
So-
yeah, you're probably
Might-
right, Cole. I think taking a. I mean, Fanatics are my favourite anyway.
Yeah.
I just love
Yeah,
them. So
they're lethal.
I
I
think,
usually
yeah.
just I just usually uphill block them and hope, because otherwise
Yeah,
they can
and
ruin your day.
that does remove them half the time, or you know, they're just gone. People
Yeah.
just don't do it though normally. Or the idea is you try and keep it away from, a standard block at the end of your turn.
Yeah. No, whenever I have to face one, I always target it for a blitz and with someone who's got block, because you just really anything but a skull, you've got a good chance. So anyway,
Even a push away is pretty decent against a Fanatic.
it is.
So what do we think about this game then?
External.
I think the Orcs or I don't know.
Oh,
I think
I think
looking
that's
at the-
really hard to call that one.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I put it down as like a potential draw, because I think hard to stop the Orcs scoring, hard to stop the Skaven scoring. I just
Yeah.
the Skaven are too fast to stop, and the Orcs are too tough to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those things.
Okay. So
Okay.
next up we've got Mr. Marlowe and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against Jem and his Dwarves. So humans versus Dwarves
Yeah.
on this one.
I've got-
Sadly, Pete's had a bit of a tricky start.
He has. I can't. Yeah, I haven't really caught up with him since the start of this season. So, has he just had some rotten luck, or is he?
He did in the game that I played against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad dice.
It does look like
blitzes
he's
and
had
things
some
like that.
he's had some pretty tough luck, but I mean, yeah, and this is a horrible team to play against as well. So yeah,
Mm.
He's missing
So
a few
green,
linemen,
right.
so he's had a bit of a kicking in his last game. He's only got 9 on his human team.
Yeah.
So I was going to say he's got a bit of cash to play with, but once his journeyman come in, that might eat up all that.
Yeah.
And
He's
Jem
played
still-
a lot of the top. Yeah. So he's unlucky. He's played all the top players in this particular division, and now he's got the 4th as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a tough start.
It's almost as if this divisional structure works, isn't it, Tony?
well, it's supposed to be,
Exactly.
so that everybody plays against people at the same level as them,
Yeah.
And to be fair, Pete had a really good season 1.
Mm.
Ended up playing in the top flight last season. He's sadly got relegated through the playoff system. Yeah, so I mean, he is where he is. He's yeah. Hopefully, it picks up, but we've seen it happen to other teams. you know, even in like football and stuff, they get relegated out of the Premiership and they get relegated out of the Championship the following season. Could happen again,
Yeah.
but hopefully not. Hopefully the Buccaneers will pick up. But yeah, tough season so far.
Yeah. I reckon it'd be fine once he needs a couple of nerves of steel on his catches, because then his star quarterback will have even more reliable people to throw to.
That's so expensive. It's if you're actually picking nerves of steel on one of these guys on a catcher,
Yeah.
that's 40k, right? That's
Yeah,
40
true.
TV, and yet the standard piece itself is only 70. So
Yeah.
it's not the optimal pick because it's so expensive. You're taking 40k. You're nearly giving a bribe to a Goblin team just for putting that skill on that one player. You know what I mean? It's or you're giving them Fungus the
Yeah.
Loon almost. You put Nerves of Steel on 2 catchers. Whoever you play against, you're giving them Acorn the Squirrel, right? Because
Yeah.
that's how much he costs, 80k.
He's 80k. Yeah.
So it's all
But-
a trade-off.
Yeah. It is. I was just trying to maximise the use because he's got a 170k thrower, which it's very much that's quintessentially what the team's about. So I was just trying to find ways to make that pay
Yeah,
for
it
itself.
would make it better, but the thing is that with a human team, and I know this is all about the story of the team, and he's trying to build this amazing human team, and it is cool. It is cool.
Mm.
But it's quite expensive.
So what
And
do we
you give
think
a
in
lot
this
away
game
at the
then?
same
What's going to be the where are the points going to go?
I want the humans to win, but I'm not sure that they will.
Yeah, I think
I'm just permanently against dwarf teams anyway. I'm a bit dwarfist.
Okay. In the chat,
this
Jordan
dwarf team-
saying money on the humans. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see, won't we? Right, moving on. The last game in Division 2 that we're going to talk about today is Jordan and his filthy little gnomes against Petey Poos and his filthy little dwarves.
Oh, I hope they both lose. No, I'm only joking.
I had this down as a gnome win because I think gnomes are very strong in the right hands, and I just think they've got the speed to just keep running in easy-ish touchdowns. It's whether or not it becomes attritional is usually the case with the gnomes. If they are unlucky in the first half and lose too many, then it's all over in the second half. But if I think right in saying here, he only had 11 players. Yeah, he only got 11 players. So it's whether or not he spends. He's got a massive treasury. So it's whether or not he spends any of that to get some more players.
I mean,
Yeah, only one troll. Sorry, not troll. One fox as well. Which might be fine.
that for me I would say you want 2 foxes because you want one for when when the main one gets murdered, right? You want another one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I would.
Because they're really good players. The foxes, they're ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. They've got a little bit of everything. The gnomes. You just got to have it all in the right place. It's easy to
But a
get out.
stunty team with 11 players, for me, no. You've got to have more than 11 on a stunty team.
Yeah, I would always take at least kind of 15 with the gnomes. If I was going to a tournament, I'd take 15 and a star.
Well, yeah, or 14 and 2 stars.
Or 14 and 2, yeah.
I suspect Jordan is keeping himself very trim so that he can invest in more filth from the inducements.
and that's probably not a bad idea, to be honest. I think the thing is that gnomes are good players just as standard. With the wrestle, it's just a brilliant starting skill for a stunty to start with a general skill.
Yeah.
Wrestle jump up is just lovely because then as soon as you give one dodge, they become incredibly annoying.
Well, I saw Yeah, I saw. Yeah, Dodge is amazing. I saw in the previous games that Cindy had featured. I think 3 out of the 4 games.
Yeah.
So I expect
Yeah.
that'll be the case again against the dwarves. Kind of has to be,
Um,
really.
and the thing is a bombardier against dwarves is always great. Okay.
Yeah.
As a goblin coach, I love it. I'm, when you can just pass a bomb to a troll slayer and then they catch it and then they can't throw it back to you because they've got no passing stat. So they're going to get blown up whatever happens. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then all the mates that they've got standing around them also get blown up.
So let's have a quick look at Mark's dwarves. I think we talked about this before. They're going for a very cookie cutter standard issue dwarf roster with guard
It's got
everywhere,
it's
isn't
got
it?
loads of guard. It's got loads of guard and mighty blow, right?
Yes. Same as
Um,
the Galacticos. They're very guard heavy, mighty blow heavy.
what's the TV difference here?
It is at the
Yeah,
moment
about
170.
that.
Yeah, 170 difference at the moment.
Well, they're quite frugal dwarves for having quite a lot. I think this is a tough one. Is there 2 trees on the gnome team?
Yep.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah. Both
2
each
trees of
block.
block. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be quite. To be honest, I'm surprised I'm going to say this, but I think this is going to be another entertaining game. I don't know the result.
Oh.
I haven't got a clue what's going to happen there, but I think it'd be really fun to watch.
The
Because I
team's
think
just changed.
It's got deep root on the bottom. Are you messing around as
Yeah.
as we're doing this, Jordan? You probably are, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, Jordan's thinking he's going to put deep root on the team. I don't think he can afford deep root, can he? That's the thing. He's got Doge. He's got Elon Musk in his chainsaw alert, apparently. That's what he's put in the chat.
So, what do we think? We think a gnome's victory in that one?
No idea.
No idea. I say I hope you both lose.
Yeah.
I've played you both and I can say that. Right. Let's crack on. So running a little bit long into Division 3. Only 1 game played so far. So we'll start with Mel's Dark Elves, Not a Goth FC versus Silent Sparky's Lizards, Swampsters. So will this be the game where Mel gets her first win? I mean, lizards are lizards, aren't they? They can be
Lizards are great.
pain in the ass.
I think
Sorry, I was going to say I'm back. I seemed to drop off there at the end of the gnome one. Sorry.
Yeah, we're on to the Dark Elves versus Lizards in Division 3. Mel
Yeah.
against Silent Sparky.
I don't know.
Let's have a look at the
I mean,
Lizards. What are the
another one
Lizards
that
like?
could go either way. I think Silent Sparky's got he's got the experience. And Lizards are great, right? Lizards are just great anyway. I think it might be a new team that Mel hasn't faced yet, right? Lizards.
Yeah.
No, so I gave Mel a friendly. Well, I wouldn't say game. We played a half of a kind of this is what lizards are like, but it was more about her own team and sort of learning some of the skills, things like dump off, which she wasn't sure what that did, and so kind of went through some bits and pieces to kind of help. She hadn't spent any SPP. She didn't know what that was for, so I think she still hasn't spent it actually. But hopefully we'll buy dodge for one of her blitzers
Or tackle, because he's playing
or
Lizards.
tackle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the
10
lizards are
SPPs,
great, but the one thing I don't like about this lizard team, I've played lizards quite a lot, and it's only got 4 skinks, and that always feels really difficult. There's only 11 on the roster at all, and only having 4 skinks means they're a real target. So these blitzers, if you're not blitzing a skink per turn, you're doing something wrong. And once they're down, you can't get the ball.
The thing is that, I mean, you can say if you're not blitzing a skink a turn, you're doing something wrong. But when you've got 7 players that aren't skinks making a wall in front of you, and the skinks are behind that wall, Sometimes you can't blitz a skink, and good lizard coaches will do that to you.
Yeah.
They will, and I'm pretty sure that Silent Sparky will be mindful of that, because otherwise he wouldn't have an 11-player lizard man team.
No,
I
true.
think that's the tricky thing. I mean, I've played 11-player lizard teams, and yes, if you can hit the skinks, great. And at some point in the game, you'll get to hit a skink. But if you're on a fence, most of the time, all the skinks are going to be sat behind the Saurus and the Crocs, and it's going to be very hard to hit them.
Okay, I think I'm probably more risk averse. I've seen when I've played lizards, I've seen players purposely target my skinks and will try and dodge through lines. So again, any elves are always good at that, and dark elves in particular, because of the, like you say, a block, and if you can add tackle, it makes them a real threat. And I
My
find
dice will have one on them. All have ones on them. I'd be worried about dodging through Saurus to try and knock a skink over. And then the thing is if you dodge through a Saurus and knock a skink over, you've left your Dark Elf Blitzer behind the line where he's going to get knocked over by a Saurus potentially.
yeah, maybe again, I don't know. I've always so whether against myself or against me when I run them, or if I'm playing against them, I usually just base them up one against one, because the Saurus can't move.
I mean, that's what my tactic is. I would, but I mean, literally, just if you don't want a Saurus to move, stick a lineman next to him.
Yes.
But that means they're going to punch you. But yeah, it's definitely a valid tactic, and it's what I would do. But I've never really played as lizards. I think that's one of the teams that I'm least experienced with is lizard men. I've never really felt the inclination to play with them.
Well, as you said, I mean, they're incredibly strong, used correctly. So as a skilled player, yeah, we'll definitely have that screen and the skinks as safe as possible. So yeah, this could be an interesting matchup, and it's my fault if Mel loses, because
I know it's not your fault if Mel loses. Mel played like 6 games ever. So
yeah,
you can't, it's a bit too early to start blaming anybody for, she's not had the experience yet.
no,
Give her
exactly.
a season at least.
So next up, we've got Kurnos and his Amazons going up against Big Dunk and his Skaven. So an Amazons v Skaven matchup.
That'll be good. But I think in this matchup, Zons are probably always going to be favourites.
Yeah, there was nothing to pick between these two that I could really see. So, kind of nothing in the TV. Good progression on both sides. I think again, I would err towards Amazons just because of that matchup, but it could be. I think both teams are going to score. It's going to come down to just take their chance.
Yeah, a 2-1 or a 2-2, maybe something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
The Zon team looks like it's just sort of like quite new, but it's got all the good stuff that they want. Got a bit of block, got a bit of guard. It's just stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
building nicely.
they're so TV trim. They're just both teams actually look like they're coming along nicely. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and some good results actually. For the Amazons, slightly harder for the Skaven at the moment, but even then, still in each game, only a one draw and only lost by 1 on the others. So yeah, 2 good teams.
Okay, next up we've got Garland Sunborn's Ogres versus another Lizard Men team in Division 3. The Spirit of Teapot, Selfie 74s. So 9th versus 8th here.
How much block is there on the Lizardman team?
How much block is on the Lizards?
That's the question.
Just 2.
Yeah, only 2.
Yeah,
Well, it's enough
2.
to do a Blitzer turn and try and kill a Nobbler return, right?
Yeah. Yeah, though I think in this, it will. But then there's 2 block ogres. They could be horrible.
They could be very dangerous and take out Saurus.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Um,
a fun. This is another fun one. I would
it
quite
is.
like to see this one.
Interestingly, no Crocs on the Lizard Men. I don't know if that's been a casualty at some point or whether they just didn't fancy it.
Yeah,
Keep the
there
TV
are
low, but
skills to roll on the ogres as well. That. Oh, do like those ogres.
yeah. Well, I
This could be a tight one.
like that. Ogre. Yeah.
I like this ogre team. They're fun. Ogres are always fun anyway, but
Yeah.
this is a competitive looking ogre team. Has he got 16 players? That's the only thing I might be like, not sure about that.
Yep, and he's in the chat now. He's just saying those ogres have got some SPPs to spend
Well,
as
but
well.
I'm not sure about the 16 players thing. Maybe drop one just in case, because you might want to be able to get a star player, and you can't take a star player if you've got 16 players.
I agree.
So just drop one. And then obviously, if you want to, you can take the righteous rookies and stuff if you feel like you need extra noblars. But yeah, drop one so that you've got room on the roster for a star. Because you might even be able to get like Griff Oberwald or something. Ogres have got a really great selection of star players that they can take. CV is high. Yeah, well, it is at the moment. But in league play, your nobblers don't actually count as having any value whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
So it's just you don't really want to skill the nobblers up anyway. You just want to skill up the ogres, and at some point, you're going to end up with being TV down. And ogres get that. I think they can take both Cindy and Bomber, can't they?
Yeah, they can. I think you're right. I would just take off one for the sake of 15k and
Just in case. Just in
free up
case.
that slot. Yeah, free up that slot. I do like. I mean, the randoms that have returned up on these nobblers, like you say, you don't normally skill them, but sneaky get and jump up are probably, two choice ones really. That can be strong.
I mean, I would just random any
Oh
skill,
yeah,
and if I got sneaky git, that's fine. Anything else, I'm sacking the bloke and buying another one that's fresh, because then he's not worth anything TV wise, and it
yeah,
costs me 15k. So I don't think there are any skills really worth taking on a nobbler, because they only cost 15k to start with. As soon as you put a skill on it, even if it's a random skill, it's another 10k. It's nearly doubled in price.
yeah.
Not worth it, is it?
I suppose not.
I mean, a sneaky git one, fine. Yeah, I'll take that and then just start fouling with him.
Yeah.
So what do we think about the outcome of this one then?
Oh, I don't know, but I'd like to watch it. I love ogres. Ogres are so fun.
So that's taking place on the 7th. Is that next week? Next Wednesday.
Yeah. Next.
But
Yeah.
that lizard team looks good too, so I wouldn't like to call it.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I
I guess so. The next one on the list will be Jack versus Harvey, that finished in a 2-2. So just to point out that whilst we don't go into all the details of the games that have occurred on these previews, Harvey was doing very well, and Jack's season looks like it's up and running now. I think that was after a few losses, he got a win and now a draw against Harvey, who's top of the league. So yeah,
that was an excellent result for
well done,
Jack.
Yeah.
When you look at how well Harvey's done so far this season, he's a bloody good coach, is Harvey. Jack's holding him to a draw. That's
really good.
That's a really good result. That's impressive.
Cool. So then the next one
good
we've
luck
got
to
here.
both coaches for the next one.
Indeed, yeah. So then we've got Mr. Lovett with his Dark Elves versus Jamie and his High Elves. This could be a pretty tasty one.
It could be, but the High Elves have taken a beating.
Yeah, they have, haven't they?
And are down 2 players. They only got 8. So they're going to have to hire 3 journeymen.
Yeah,
How much TV are they going to have? They're going to have a bit. 400. So they're going to have.
Dark Elves is quite an experienced High Elf coach, and Dark Elves isn't a great matchup. Because they can do most of what you can do, but they're better at hitting you.
Yeah.
Bodge everywhere on
It's
those.
it's
Dark
not a
Elves.
great matchup, and I know that Lovett's a pretty decent Dark Elf coach.
Yeah, he's second at the moment, isn't he?
Jamie's a decent High Elf coach, but I think this is going to be an uphill battle for Jamie. I fancy the Dark Elves on this one.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think just looking at the Dark Elf team, it's it's a classic build really. Every blitzer's now a blodger. Some great randoms. You've got Pro Frenzy, Witch Elf on a blodge as well. So yeah, great mix of everything really. I think
I think
maybe
it's a tough one because the Dark Elf team looks more developed. It's been
yeah.
it's not taken as much of a beating. Yeah, I just think that one team here is having a good season, and the other team's having a bit of a difficult one so far. And I think
Yeah.
the momentum is with the Dark Elves on this one.
Yeah. They're not even getting that much, are they? What is it at the moment?
Well, that's
it's
the
quite
other
a big
thing. That High Elves
TV
bloat
difference as
like
well.
they bloat like mad. So
He's
you're
gonna
not
have
going to
some
get
toys.
a great deal of sort of extra inducements or anything.
It'd be interesting to see
Okay.
what inducements does take. It's going to be, well, I guess one decent star, or you
What's he
could take
got?
the
How much?
twins.
At the moment,
About
it's like
four.
405, but there's still
No,
the
but if he's got
couple of
if you add the
Linos and whatever.
three linos, that's 210.
Yeah.
What? No, it's 405 after you've added the linos,
I don't think it is, Carl.
isn't it? Because the two
No,
TVs at the moment. Okay.
I think
So current teams are.
literally the 210 for the linos, and he's on 190 something. Because if he could take the Swift twins, that would be a thing. I don't think he can.
Okay. I
Well,
must be
we'll
reading that
see.
wrong.
We'll see what happens with that one. So, onto our
Swift
final
twins would
game.
be amazing.
Our final one of this preview. Steve and his Norse going up against Sam and his Old World Alliance. So will this be the game where Steve gets to win? Because he's again another one who's not had much luck so far.
I think he deserves one. I think Old World. I think Norse against Old World. It's really going to be very dependent on who hits who harder.
Yeah.
The Norse obviously with all the block, which is great when you're knocking things down. Old World, they have less. I mean, what's the TV difference on this one?
Quite a bit.
Yeah,
There's
295 to Steve.
295 to spend. Yeah. And it's because the dwarf, the Old World has got a lot of block on the dwarves, so it's kind of filling in the gaps that it had to begin with. So it's a strong team now.
He's not got a Yeti on this Norse team, has he?
No.
I mean, this could be an argument for Snowpelt, right?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, 295.
That'd be fun. He's a good star player, isn't he? Strength 6. With no Negatrait and Claw.
Let's have a look. He's only strength 5, but yeah, no Negatrait.
No Negatrait. He's got Claw and Mighty Blow, right?
Yeah, he has.
Claw, Snowpelt. And Juggernaut, so he's like safe to blitz with.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might be that. I think I might. For me, I think that this would be my. Maybe I will have a Yeti this one, but the good one.
Yeah.
I just love the mini as well, where he's combing his hair. It's just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's only 250, so it's a little bit of change out of that as well. I guess you've always got Griff at that value.
Yeah, but I think for fun, and also, yeah.
Yeah.
it's also that you're playing a Norse team. Take a
Yeah, exactly.
Norse player. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. This is not the right place to discuss it, but I do hope that a future version cuts down on the access to star players, makes them a little bit more
Yeah.
race specific. But we'll save that for another discussion another day.
Oh, we'll have another talk about that another time. But I am in agreement with you, Cole. But yeah, I think that's going to be a fun one. Sam's a really good coach. Steve's a really good coach. He's a great guy. I hope they have a good game. I think hopefully Steve gets his season off the mark at some point soon.
Yeah. So there we go. That is all the games for round 5 run through and previewed by our 2 expert pundits. So thank you
And
very
me.
much, Cole and Tony, and I think Jem briefly. I think that who's popped in. Not that we heard him. So there we go. Yeah, that will do us for tonight. That's just over an hour on the stream, so good timing. Keep an eye out on Torplay for these results come in, and just let us know if anyone watches this. You want to throw us some shade if we got your predictions wrong, or we got them right. Let us know.
Did we actually predict many though, or did we mostly say, "Oh, don't want to call that too
There were
close"?
a few. Yeah, there were a few that got called. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So there we
Lots
go.
of nice 2-1s. Yeah.
Well, lovely. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, guys, for watching the stream. We'll be back doing another preview for round 6 in a few weeks, and try and keep these as a regular thing now after the little break in round 4. But yeah, thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon on the next stream, whenever that will be.
Thanks, Dan. See you then.
Cheerio.
Take care. Bye bye, everyone.